So when we talk about a square number, it's when you take, so 9 for instance, 9 is a square number because it can be broken down, and when we what times what gets us 9?
3 times 6.
No.
1.
No. Not, well, 1 and 9 get you it. 3 times 3, okay? So a square number has the ability, this one, you can't even see it. Why do I use that color? Okay, so let's look at numbers really fast, okay? If I take, we see on here, we have the number 1, right? On our page 35, we have 1 dot to represent 1. We're going to make arrays today, okay? So we have an array of 1, right? And we have a box around 1. How many rows do we have, Lillian? 1. How many columns do we have?
1.
1. Because 1 times 1 gets you 1. Now, what about if I do, let's look at 4. We've got 1 dot, 2 dots, 3, 4. It kind of looks like a dice, right?
Yes.
Can I draw a square?
Yes.
Yes, because how many rows do I have?
2.
2. How many columns do I have?
2.
2, and that means I have
4.
4. Now, what if I do 2? Is this a square?
No.
No. This is a rectangle because it's 2 by 1, right? Does that make sense? So we can't do 2 as a square root, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so when we're looking at the arrays, they make the squares kind of, you know how you said when we talked about square numbers, you were like, so it's a number, that's a square, and I said not completely, but this is the part that is, okay? So when we look at this, each row has the same number, right? Each row has 2 in it. And each column has 2 in it, right? That's how it's a square. So we have, so look at your array for 9. How many rows are in your array for 9? Everyone? 3. How many columns? 3. So 3 times 3 gets us 9. So even though 1 is a little different because it's just 1, it is still technically can be viewed as a square number. Okay? All right. So yes.
Is what we're doing called finding the square root?
Kind of. It's the start of that. Does that make sense? Okay, so if we look at our arrays at the top, we have 1, 4, 9, and 16, right? At the top of our page. So look at number 1. It wants us to draw the square arrays to represent the next 2 square numbers that are after the 16, okay? So when we look at a square number, it means we're taking a number times that same number to get another one. So like 4 times 4, 4 and 4 are the same number, right? We got 16. 3 and 3 are the same number, we get 9, okay? So let's look, so that was 4 by 4, right? Can we do 5 times 5? And what do we get if we do 5 times 5?
25.
25. So you need to draw an array. You need to make a box. Well, first I want you have this grid, okay? you have a grid with little tan dots. I want you to make a 5 by 5 column. So you're on top of the boxes, on top of the little light dots. Okay, say I have all these little light dots. I'm going to make them bigger. So I'm going to draw a 5 by 5 on my little dots. Okay? Does that make sense? Five by 5. You do that?
Yes.
A whole square?
Yes.
Fill them all in, not just the outsides.
You draw it?
Joseph.
You draw it?
Okay, so we said 5, we have 5 rows, right? And we have 5 columns, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have 5 by 5. What's 5 times 5?
25.
25. So where it says square number, what's your square number?
25.
25. So you need to write that down. It's on these, sweetie. Just don't erase it, just do it. Just fill it in. What, Joseph? Not 6 by 5, 5 by 5. They have to be the same number. It has to be 5 by 5 to be a square. If we did 6 by 5, they wouldn't all be the same size. Does that make sense? Okay, Charisma? Yes. So, now, what's our next number? Lillian?
6 times 6.
Right, 6 times 6. What does 6 times 6 equal, Keegan? Nope, times. That's 6 plus 6. What's 6 times 6? Perfect, 36. So now you need to do 6 by 6. So I'm just adding to mine. I'm not drawing another one. But you need to draw a new one. So now I have a row of 6. I have 6 rows of 6 and 6 columns of 6. Draw your array. 36, correct. So our square number, we need to write down 36. Okay? Any questions on that? The arrays are just a visual representation of what we mean by square number. Okay? It's a way for you to think of it in a visual term. Okay? Make sense? Alright, so our next one they want us to do is they want us to list all the square numbers from 1 to 50. Okay? So, we already said 1 is a square number, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everyone write 1 down. 1, comma. Now, is 2? Nope. What about 3?
No.
No. What about 4?
Yes.
Yes. So, hold on. I think what they want, though, is so 4 is a square number. Is 5 a square number?
No.
No, it's a square root of a number, right? It times itself gets us something, but it itself is not. Right? Is 6?
No.
7?
No.
8?
No.
9?
Yes.
Yes. What's my next square number?
16.
16. We jump all the way from 9 to 16 before we get another square number. So these are what we are writing on number 2. List all the square numbers through 50. We have 1, 4, 9, 16. So this was 4 times 4, right? This was 3 times 3, 2 times 2, 1 times 1. So, what's this one, Grace?
25.
25. You don't have to do the little times thing. This is just me showing you what we're doing. What's my next one, Mary?
36.
36. And that was 6 times 6, right? We have one more square number. Who knows what it is? Grace just did it. Who else knows? Mary just did one. Keegan. We just did 6 times 6, so what's 7 times 7?
49.
49. So, you beat them to it. So, these are our square numbers. We can't go any higher because they just want us to go through 50. Okay?
50 is not a square number.
Nope, 50 is not a square number.
This is like a free for multiplication.
Kind of. This is what you need to know your multiplication for this, don't you? So it says, how can you find the 10th square number without drawing the array? So if we're trying to find out what the 10th one is, what are you going to do, Lincoln?
You just beat 10 times 10.
Perfect. They tried to trick you and they couldn't. The 10th square number is 10 times 10, right? What is it?
100.
100.
That's the easiest one yet.
So you would multiply 10 by 10 and get 100. Everyone understand this?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Now, list the first 10 square numbers and describe. So we're going to do that first. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 of them so far, right? Mm-hmm. So list the ones you already listed. Go ahead and take a second and list the 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, and then we will continue. Okay, so these were our first 7, right? We did 7 times 7, so now we're doing 8 times 8. What is that? Grace?
64.
64. That's our 8th one. Now, Lillian, what's 9 times 9? Lillian? Samara, stop. Do you want help on that one? Samara? You were all excited. Lordy. Then Lillian, what's 10 times 10?
100.
100. So these are our first 10, right?
Yes.
Okay, make sure you wrote these. Make sure you have all 10 written down. Now, what is our pattern? What do you see? Okay, what's the pattern you see?
The answers goes like 1 times 1, 2 times 2. It counts by ones when you go.
If you're looking at these, but what if we're looking at our big numbers, not our equations?
The time.
Not the times. We're not looking at the times. We're looking at the big numbers.
The times go like in order. And 16 does 1, and then 25, 2, 36, 3, and 49, 4.
Okay.
What?
Samara?
Same thing you just did. Oh, I heard.
Sweet?
Even.
What?
Even.
Odd and even, right? We have an odd number and even number. Odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, odd, even. What's another pattern? Does someone see? Lillian?
It can't be odd even because 6 and 4 are both even.
No, like odd, even, odd, even. Do you see what I mean? Okay.
Every number that's in the ones place except 1, it's repeating itself.
Okay. I see what you mean. So, a lot of them, so like 16 and 36 and things like that. What about, so they also, so look at this. Look at the numbers that I've circled, because we're not looking at the equations. Okay, so look at the circled numbers. They increase in a pattern. They increase by odd numbers. We have 1 plus 3 is 4. Then our next odd number is 5, right? 4 plus 5 is?
9.
Then we have 7. 9 plus 7 is?
16.
Then we have 9. 16 plus 9 is?
25.
Then we have our next, so what's our next odd number after 9?
11.
11. 25 plus 11 is?
36.
36. So they increase by odd numbers. You see that?
Right there.
So pick one of those. Either it alternates odd and even, or it increases by odd numbers.